Good evening and welcome to the Chrissy B Show. And on tonight's programme, we're going to be talking about playing games. Why do people play games? What type of games do people play? And can game playing ever be positive? My guests tonight are love expert Chelsea Black and two ladies that used to play games themselves, Lucy and Shana. And we'll also be disclosing some common games that men play and why. And to help us understand and explain, we'll also be watching some game playing in action, so make sure you stay tuned. So if you want to get in touch at any point during the show, you can email chris@chrissybshow.tv. So are you a kind of person that plays games, or is it something maybe that everyone does? Or perhaps maybe you've had games played on you and it hasn't been very pleasant. Do share your experiences, chris@chrissybshow.tv. But let's meet our guests first of all. We have Chelsea, Lucy and Shana. How are you girls? Are we ready to discuss this topic?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start off with you, Chelsea. What do you actually do? Can you tell us about how you started doing what you do?
I'm a relationship coach. I have a blog. So I was writing about my own dating experiences for about 3-4 years. And then I was coaching in business. And then I married the two, the dating, blogging and the coaching. And so now I help people who are having problems with their relationships.
Okay. Now, did you, in your own personal life, experience games being played on you, or have you ever been a game player?
I'm more a recipient of the games as opposed to a game player, but I do feel that some games are actually good for a relationship.
Really?
Not all games, but I think in the early days.
I do agree with you, because there's something that I do to my husband sometimes, which I will tell you about later, just to test him out a little bit sometimes.
Occasionally,
it's good, isn't it?
I think, games can be good, but as long as both people know the rules and both people, agree to them.
Yeah. Not when it's like something that obviously puts the other person down. Cause
exactly. No negativity. Really... It's got to be sort of fun. It's got to be, a positive experience.
I'm going to be more about that. Lucy, now this one is acting all shy and everything, I'm sure. But you look very sweet and innocent. But you were quite a character in the past, weren't you?
I played the games, and the games went by my rules and on my terms.
Okay, we're going to be hearing more. And how about you, Shana? Were you the game player, or you were...
In the beginning, I thought I was, but in the end, I always ended up getting hurt. So, it was kind of like everything backfired on me, really.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, as I said, I've also got some points written by a man, and he's asked other men as well. And he's listed some of the sort of most common games that men play on women and why. So that I find it quite interesting, actually, some of the stuff. Some I thought were really unfair. Others I kind of understood why. So I think, it's something that maybe if you're in a relationship, you just kind of want to know who the person is. So that's why sometimes people do play games. But we're going to see some role plays first of all. And let's just see what you guys think, and then we can discuss it. So let's take a look at the first video.
So tell me a little bit about what you do.
I'm an electrician. Yeah, that's it really.
Okay.
What about you? What do you do?
I'm a nurse.
Okay, that's good. You know how to take care of people, basically.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, yeah.
So what stuff have you been directing recently then?
Well, at the moment we're planning on doing it's kind of a short drama. You probably wouldn't understand. It's more of it's kind of an exploration into these two characters that meet on the subway, and it kind of escalates. It's still in development.
Sounds really cool though.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah.
Can I have a look at it?
No, certainly not. No, it won't be finished for a while.
Oh right, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So well, it's not really kind of professional in my line of business to really explain what we're doing.
Of course. I wouldn't want to breach your confidentiality or
anything.
No,
of course not. No.
Yeah.
Are you drinking that?
Oh yeah.
They pay well in there.
No, it's not very well. Not very well. No.
Okay.
I get by though. Do you know what I mean? It's all right.
No, you look all right.
Oh, thanks.
So what do you do?
I just work in beauty actually. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that fun?
Yeah, it's cool. Meet some really good people, really nice, and it's quite creative as well, because obviously it's like different hair colours, and the beauty's changing all the time. So things move on quickly. So I have to get a training every year and stuff like that if I want to keep up with everybody else. But it's cool. It doesn't sound half as cool as what you do though. That's amazing.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
So what are you doing next weekend?
What we've got out with the boys, have a little drink up and stuff. get my hair done, see what's out in the town.
Okay.
Yeah. Any talent out
Yeah,
there?
I quite like going out as well, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might be going to the same place, you never know.
I didn't tell you where we're going yet.
Oh.
Yeah, so this has been fun. Have you got any plans this evening? Do you?
What were you thinking?
Well, I'm not too sure really. Haven't got to be up too early in the morning.
Oh right. So what, did you want to go somewhere after here?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, where were you thinking?
Wherever, we can go get a drink somewhere, go to a club.
Yeah. Okay, whatever you want to do, I'm happy to do whatever. So do you have like any cool, like, what about like, have you got any parties or anything because of your work? Like, I know you said you do some cool stuff all the time.
We party a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I could squeeze you in somewhere, I'm sure. I mean, I'd like to go out and have a drink.
You don't have to, do you know what I mean? You don't have to, I just mean,
Oh.
like I might, you know, it would be nice if we could see each other again, I don't know. It's
Oh.
up to you as well.
Yeah, okay, no. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, yeah.
Where do you want to go?
Anywhere.
Okay, all right, cool.
Anywhere, you choose it, I'll do it, I'll pay for it because I can do that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I really like you. I think you're really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers, thank you very much.
So when was your last girlfriend?
Did you like meet a lot of girls?
Oh, yeah, putting me on the spot now. I mean, you know, when we're out, couple with the mates and stuff like that, my mates, and we're all drinking, something we do get attention of girls and stuff like that. We get a lot of girls coming around us and stuff like that. But I mean, that's how it goes, spending and stuff like that. So.
Well, anyways, all right. Well, I've really enjoyed tonight, and I really do like you. So I hope that, you know, are you like going to be my boyfriend now?
Well, I didn't actually say I'm a ladies man.
It sounds a bit like it though, do you know?
Oh no, but don't put words in my mouth. I mean, I'm not really. I'm not saying I'm a ladies man, but I'm a man at the end of the day.
Did you want to go then or something? Did you not want to finish your food?
I'm pretty much done. Are you done?
Okay, well I don't have to finish eating if you
No,
don't want to.
well, you can finish eating if you
No,
like.
no,
I'm
please.
finished. I finished sort of a while ago.
Oh right, okay. Well I don't need to finish. Honestly, it's fine. Let's just go if you want to go.
Okay, yeah. Let's go and have a drink.
All right then.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that?
Anyway, I'm gonna go to the toilet. Proud of my nose.
Yo, I'll go on back, but yeah, man, it's cool. Everything going nice, man. Just keep it easy, said speed, yeah. And one love, fam. Boom.
Oh, dearie me. So I'm sure our panel of ladies here have got plenty to say about it. Should we start with Chelsea? What did you think of the first couple, first of all, with Barbara? By the way, Barbara's very talented in a lot of things, isn't she? Acting as well.
He was trying to, you know, put her down very, very quickly and sort of take control of the relationship. And she fell straight into it. She sort of became very submissive and, you know, whatever you want and, you know, I'd like to be your girlfriend very, very quickly, which is unfortunate because he was sort of quite patronising.
He was horrible, wasn't he?
He was awful. He was very bad.
horrible. But there are men that, you know, and women as well, that do act like that even on a first date. But it's like some people just get sucked into that because they're impressed by the money and the glamour of everything, and they just they kind of miss the signs. They miss the little things that people say sometimes that are so important. So that was 10. How about you guys? What did you think of the first couple?
I just thought that guy was horrible.
Yeah.
The first one with Barbara, I just thought it was too much, and I thought, oh my gosh, like I wouldn't fall for that.
Like,
I just think it's rude.
But don't you think a lot of like women and men do say, I would never fall for that, but they somehow find themselves in these kind of situations sometimes?
Yeah.
It could happen, couldn't it?
Happen.
Especially if someone's not very confident about themselves and maybe they're impressed by sort of those
Unfortunately, she did say that she really liked him, so she was already quite vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so, yes, when you like someone, you are going to be you'll take a little bit more than you should perhaps from them early on. So that was the problem.
So what do you think, what game was he playing then? What do you think, Lucy?
I think he was full of himself. I don't think he was really interested in her. I think he just wanted to just show off about himself towards her.
Yeah. Which could point to a problem with him as well, because when sometimes other people kind of put others down, sometimes or often it means that they themselves have an issue, doesn't it?
He seemed insecure.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. So, you know, he had this amazing job and all these parties, but when she questioned him about the parties, they didn't seem to sort of really be there. So he seemed quite insecure.
It even seemed like he was making some of the stuff up. It was kind of like, this is what I have, this is what I have, and, you know, all that. When
I can't talk about the projects because you wouldn't really understand, you know, he was like...
This is so like high profile, right?
Exactly.
And before we talk about our second couple, Shanna, can you tell us about what happened to you?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was a case of I was quite young, and I just thought it was cool to pretend I was older, because I was quite tall. I could get away with looking about 2 years older than my actual age, and that's what actually happened. I met a guy who was much older than me, and I could pass for 18 at the time, and I wasn't. I even lied about my age, to be honest. And I got into the relationship, and at first I thought, okay, it's fine. It's like, oh my gosh, I have a boyfriend, he works, he has money, he does this, does that. And I just thought it was okay, it was fine. But eventually, it's like the more I got into the relationship, things started to get quite scary. It was like I felt like I was trapped. It was I saw that I was vulnerable, but at the same time I thought, no, I can manage it.
But what was the problem though? What was the problem with the relationship?
The problem was in the beginning it was like it seemed all nice. It was very nice, always calling and everything. But after a while, he stopped making that effort, and I started to be the one that was making all the calls. And okay, can you come and see me? And I wouldn't even think. I would just go. I would lie to go and see him.
And your parents, no one at home knew?
No one knew.
Okay.
I would do everything. I would save money just so I can make the calls. I would do so many things out of my way just to make an effort. And eventually there was just no effort from his side at all. And I didn't even realize it anymore because I was the one.
How long were you together?
It was about 1.5 years. Yeah.
It's quite a long time.
Yeah, it's quite a long time. And in that 1.5 years, I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm in love. And that was it, really. I just thought I was in love and everything's going to be fine when in about 3 years' time, probably I'll get married to this person. I was very naive. Yeah. Very, very naive.
So what games would you say he was playing on you?
I thought it was a case of, you used to say, oh, like, you're the only one, or I can't wait till you reach the age you can get married. I'm going to buy you this, going to buy you that. I'm going to make sure you get the best, all of these things. But I never really questioned it. I just thought, okay, since he's saying all of these things, I'm sure the person is faithful. When I do travel back, it's going to be fine, because I had to travel back home. So when I'd go, it'd be for like a few months. And then after that, it would pretty much be on the phone. So that's how it was. It was long distance relationship, which.
But then he started to kind of back off and like. Yeah. So he had you basically chasing.
Yeah.
Him afterwards.
That's how it was.
Okay, and how did you feel about that?
At first, I thought it was fun at first, because I've never met anyone like that before. And with all the phone calls and everything, I kind of thought, oh, I think I was very naive, because it was like a fairy tale. It's kind of like, oh, you see it on TV all the time, the long distance relationship, it works out, everything goes well. And I never had experience with relationships before, actually. So I didn't know what was going to happen. I was just going by my feelings, really, and just hoping for the best. Yeah, but eventually things turned out horrible, really horrible.
So you had your heart broken?
Yeah, and it was, I can't even explain it. It was so bad, because all the time I'd ask questions like, is there someone else? Or, you know, what do you do when I'm away? And it'd be a thing of, I'm waiting, it's fine. Okay. But eventually I found out there was someone else. And I found out because I found a letter, and I found some cards, like different things. And that same week, then my cousin told me that he was involved with her friends.
So that's the ultimate game, isn't it? Pretending to be into you and love you and everything when all the time you had someone else.
Yeah.
Okay, but Shanna, we're going to go to a break at the moment. We're going to talk about the other two, the other couple that we saw there. So if you guys want to participate, you can email Chris at chrissybshow.tv. We're going to talk to our guests more after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Chrissy B Show, where we are talking about game playing. Now, we've heard from our lovely guests before the break, and they're going to continue giving us their opinion now on the second couple that we met, which was Bianca, and I don't know the gentleman's name.
He's the electrician and the nurse.
Yeah, the blonde guy. What did you think about that, girls?
His lack of interest. He was pretending that he wasn't interested in her, but then the phone call at the end suggested that he did really like her. So I think he was possibly protecting his feelings, sort of, I'm not going to show her how much I like her, but he just came across as a bit of an idiot, really.
Yeah, exactly. Before I give my opinion, what would you have to say, Lucy, about it?
The girl was a bit eager though, because she was like, one point she said something about, oh, I might end up in the same place as you. And it's like he kept pushing her away. As you said, like, he doesn't want her to get close to him. So I felt like, I don't know, I feel he's like a sweet boy, really. He's trying to be hard, but he's a sweet boy.
Do you reckon? I don't like the way he spoke to his friend about her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's how guys are. That's how they talk to people, like their friends. They go on different.
I think it was a case
That's
of...
a good point, actually.
It seemed like he didn't really... he wasn't involved with a lot of women. And he had that opportunity, but then he tried to pretend that, no, I'm fine. I know how to deal with this. I have a lot of women. But she was just like, okay. And eventually everything died down because he wasn't communicating at all. So he lost the opportunity.
It's true, because that's the risk people play. Because I know sometimes people say, I'm gonna play it really cool. I'm gonna make out as if I'm not that interested when they're really, really interested. And he was obviously really into her, but not from what he said afterwards on the phone. But it's like people run the risk of it all going wrong, and I can understand. Okay, you don't want to be too eager and like to embarrass yourself, but at the same time, I think it's nice to show that you're interested in someone, and to have a decent conversation, not just kind of ignore them like he was with her, because that's how many people lose opportunities. They play this game, they think, oh, I'm going to act really cool, it's going to make her or him want me even more. Well, actually it doesn't. It's annoying for a lot of people. Did you used to do that, Lucy?
No, I'm a girl. I can't.
So it can happen the other way around.
No, I didn't do that.
No?
No.
So you were straight with people?
Well, I wasn't, basically with me, okay, I was more of the guy in a relationship. You can see me when I'm ready, but I didn't go on like, oh, I'm not interested. They knew I was interested, but it was to a limit. And I was very picky because like the way I grew up with the fact that I'm the girl and a guy's supposed to have more than me. So with me, I wanted the guy to be on top of me. And for my young age, well, I'm not young, my young age, I expected a lot from guys. So if you didn't drive, I was not interested.
So you went into your equal rights or anything then?
No,
you weren't.
No, because if I'm driving, I go to uni, I've got this, I've got that. You have to have way more than me to even step. So,
I'm sure there's loads of women now looking at you like, nah, I totally disagree with you. But okay, go on.
Yeah, so that was me. I know a lot of people are different, but that's how I looked at it. And I used to, like, with guys, I'd lead them on and then just leave them and let them... Like,
but why would you do that?
I don't know. I think it was like... I actually don't know. I think it was boredom. And it was the fact that I could get attention easily. So I used that to... Like, for me, I used to go to a lot of parties. So I used to go for guys that were famous. Not famous per se, but in the industry. So if you had status, then okay, we can be friends. Because I liked the attention. I loved it. That's what I lived with. So, yeah.
Interesting, Lucy. I'm just processing everything you're saying here. But I don't think it was just boredom with you, I think there was probably like a deeper issue there, because people don't normally just do things like that for. I don't know what you think, Chelsea, but I don't
think she was interested in the guys, because otherwise I don't think you'd play those kind of games. So if you were genuinely interested in somebody's personality, then you wouldn't necessarily play them that way. These are the guys that were giving you attention, and so you were like, well, okay. That was the boredom bit, I think. But if it was someone you were genuinely into, I'm sure you would have adapted your game a little bit to show a little bit more interest and a little bit more willing.
Did you?
Yeah, but okay, boys play games as well. So they would play their games, but I would adapt my game to them. So after you've played your game, I'm going to play my game now. Do you understand?
So you were well aware of that they were playing games? Yeah. Yeah,
so I would watch their games, and I would get hurt. So from the fact that I got hurt, I would retaliate by playing games to them. So certain boys would phone me and I'd be like, okay, I'll just lead them on, and then I'll just leave them. And I'll be like, what happened? So yeah.
Okay. See, what Lucy's describing are games where, neither of them really know the rules. So it's games to hurt rather than games for fun. And that's when it can be dangerous, in the same way that Shana mentioned, when you think you're the one in control, you think you know the rules, and then you find out that somebody's been lying to you for a year and a half. It's not horrible. Ideal. So I think they can be more hurtful than we realise. And yes.
But Lucy, how were you feeling about yourself? How was your confidence during that period? Did you like yourself? Did you have issues at home?
Obviously, I wasn't at church or anything. I felt that I could use my body to get where I wanted to get to. That was the only thing I knew of them time. That's what I thought life was about. So, yeah.
So you weren't happy within yourself as such?
I wouldn't say that I wasn't happy. I didn't have anything else to do. Does that make sense? Do you understand? Like, I felt that for me, it was just guys. That was what life was about. To make it in society, you have to know people, you have to know guys. I didn't ever think of marriage or my future or I'm gonna settle down with these guys. None of the guys I ever thought I'm gonna settle down with them. I looked at them, it's just for now.
Right, okay then. Well, so before, we have got some more videos to play, but just before that, I'm gonna read a few things. This is written by a man, and he's listing some things here that men do, the typical kind of games that men play, but also about why they do it. Because sometimes we know people are playing games and it's like, why is this person doing this? Why are they treating me this way? Why can't they just be straight about their feelings? Why all this game playing? Why can't you just be open and honest? So here's some things. So he says, one of the things that a lot of men do are making unreasonable and or impossible demands. So he's saying here that he'll start making these demands without warning, so you don't know it's coming. 1 minute everything's fine, next minute everything's kind of like he's making all these demands, you don't know where it's come from. So if you're in a relationship already, he'll start suggesting and demanding that the two of you visit places or people he knows you don't normally want to visit, or that you must start watching his or her favourite TV shows, which he knows you don't like. He then says you shouldn't react because he's just testing your willpower, your resolve, your flexibility, and most importantly, your strength. And apparently, if you pass the test, I've just given you the answer, never mind, it's going to increase his trust in you. So you can imagine the confusion, like you're getting on really well with this guy, and like he basically moves heaven and earth to please you. So he'll take you to the places you want to go to, he'll watch the shows that you want to watch. Then all of a sudden he switches and he changes and he said, right, we're going to do this. I don't want to go to this place. I want to watch this show and I want you to watch it with me. It's quite confusing for a woman, isn't it?
No, I think also it's making women dishonest, because if she doesn't want to go somewhere or she doesn't want to watch a program, she should feel confident enough to say it without risking him being angry, etc. I think those examples that guys testing women, they never really work, because it's like you're testing someone and yet you're lying to test their honesty. So it doesn't quite work. It's sort of like it's a male thought process, but I don't think it particularly works well.
Well, like it says here, he's basically, it says here that he's testing your willpower, your flexibility, and importantly your strength. So it says that it's going to increase his trust in you. If you can kind of be resilient and put your foot down maybe, then he's going to say, okay, well actually she's not a pushover,
that's a man who's been hurt before. That's why he has to test
he probably has actually, because we're going to read a few more. Let me read one more for you. Have I got time for one more before we go to the break? Yeah, one more. If I've been told one more. Okay. So the classic one suddenly stops calling you. Has this happened to you before?
Yes.
How did it make you feel?
Well, you're confused. What suddenly happened? What's happened? But they mustn't call me after that. Because that's it. If you suddenly stop calling without explanation, and then you call 3 months later.
Oh, that's out of order, though, isn't it? Good for you. Yeah, that's good. How about you? Did that happen to you, girls?
Yeah, that has happened to me.
Yeah, it's happened. Yeah.
It's not a nice feeling.
It's not a nice feeling, but then again, I fell for it. It was kind of like, oh, the person doesn't call.
Oh, did you go back and run in after?
Then you start to call, and it's like, oh, what happened? Then there's an excuse, and then you accept the excuse, and you're like, okay, it's fine. And then after that, it happens again. And then after a while, you kind of realise, okay, something's wrong.
All right, let's see what... Okay, after that, because I've been told we've got to go to a break now, but after the break, we're going to be telling you the reasoning behind this kind of behaviour. So join us after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show. Always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. Now we're one guest short because Shanna had to dash off, but I've still got the other lovely guests with me, Chelsea and Lucy, to talk about the rest of the stuff that we're going to show you tonight. So before the break, we spoke about the way men just suddenly stop calling. So this obviously leaves women very frustrated. A lot of them feel, it can be the other way around, but let's talk about men first. It leaves women feeling sort of scared, oh, maybe I'm going to lose this guy. And the normal reaction is actually to chase, except in your case, because you were very strong, it was a good one, this one. The normal reaction of a lot of women is to just chase after him, start calling. Why haven't you called? Is everything all right? So all those insecurities come up. You, on the other hand, Chelsea, you said that this happened to you.
Not to call them. Yes.
And you learned not to do that. So that's great, because that shows confidence in yourself as well. But let's see what he says here, this guy. So if she calls, he doesn't answer. He's saying, don't panic. This is what the reasoning is. He's saying, don't panic. Maybe he's just trying to see how much you need him or how much you will miss him if he's no longer there. And the way you react will make all the difference. He's saying that he's just testing you to see how suspicious you can get. So he wants to know the depth of your interest and commitment in the whole relationship.
Wouldn't it be easier if he just asked you?
Exactly. That's my point.
Rather than playing the game.
Because he could run the risk of meeting someone like you who would just disappear off the scene and not call, because there are some confident ladies and you can't play games like this with confident ladies, right? So what do you think, Lucy? Put you on the spot. You weren't listening, were you? I was listening. Don't worry, I'll let you think. We're going to go to the next video, so let's see what you think of this.
Hello? Why are you ringing me? I told you it's over. You're always calling me. Look, listen, I don't care if you're going to the O2 tonight. I do not care where you're going to be. Do not call me. I will change my phone if I need to. Just stop calling me. It's over. I told you that.
You're right.
Yeah, you know, I've got a bit of a headache.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, a little bit of a headache.
I'm sure there's like pharmacy or something on the way. We can get some aspirin.
Yeah, no, I'm having such a nice time with you tonight. Like, I was thinking we could continue it maybe at your place. Maybe like, I'm thinking we can go to the O2 first.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, what's happening at O2?
No, it's just like a few things going on at the O2. I'm thinking it would be good for us to go, and then afterwards maybe I can come to yours. I want to spend more time with you.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Hey, wow, that's happening so fast. Wow, okay.
I think we might as well. We get along really well and everything.
We do, yeah. Okay.
And what are you doing tomorrow as well?
No plans. No plans.
Well, you know, you live like about 10 minutes from me, don't you?
Do I?
Yeah, like literally, I worked it out on my phone. You live like around the corner from me, so I was thinking I'd come over, whatever, we can do something for the rest of the day and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And then we just be with each other. That's what we got to do. Like, just enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll see what's happening. I mean, I might have to discuss with a few friends and work and whatnot.
But you're okay with that, right? I don't want to come across too forward. Do you know what I mean?
Oh. Can I text you? Can I get back to you? Is that all right?
Yeah, but I just think, do you know what I mean? We've had such a good night. Do you think
we've
had a good night?
Of course, yeah, no, definitely, no doubt. I think, it was a good night, yeah.
All right, so what we do is we'll just finish up here, go to the O2 for a little bit, and walk around for a little bit, maybe on the outside.
Okay.
And then we can go back to yours. Literally, we don't have to be at the O2 very long. Literally, just like Because my friend might be there as well, so we could just
okay, your
say
friend.
hi.
Your friend's there. Okay. Yeah.
And then I'll come to yours, and then
Okay.
like we'll spend some time tomorrow as well.
Sure. Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Okay. Yeah.
Alright then.
Nice.
And maybe on the weekend as well. That'd be fun. Because you're off on Saturday, right? Because I had a look. Your calendar was on your phone, and
You looked at my phone.
No. It just come up, and I just saw that your calendar was on there, and you were available on Saturday. So I thought, I just took it upon myself, and I thought, well, we could do something Saturday as well. That'd be really nice. I didn't look at your phone. I was just like, your calendar came up, and I was just like, oh, let's have a little look. Like, not have a look, but I thought, oh, it came up, so I just pressed on it. So I got the same phone as you. So.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we'll finish up here, go to the O2, and then I'll come back to yours, yeah?
Yeah, let's do that now. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, if I was a guy, I'd run a mile.
I know. She's what we call a head full of broken biscuits. She's scary. She has to go.
Full of broken biscuits. So what do you think was going on there, Chelsea?
Well, obviously she was speaking to the ex, and the ex was at O2, and so she wanted to go to O2 to then bump into the ex with this new guy. So she was rushing this relationship with a new guy to make it seem a lot closer, so that she could possibly make the ex jealous, or I'm not sure what she wanted to do with the ex, but she wanted to, so she was rushing him.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think, Lucy?
I don't think she's over her ex, because everything she's doing is saying that she wants her ex's attention. That's because her going to the O2 is gonna cause her ex to be angry. So she obviously wants to get back with him, really, deep down.
And she seemed quite desperate as well to get there. So she's kind of giving the guy like the come on, like, oh yeah, we're going to spend the night together, but first we're going to go to the O2. So just to make sure that he doesn't say no, let's go somewhere else. So she's kind of set the ground where they're going to go, what they're going to do. And then afterwards, this kind of like promise of maybe I'm going to spend the night with you as well. So obviously that's got him. But then she kind of takes it a bit, if she was planning to do that, then she takes it really far. And I think the guy was quite put off. I mean, checking his phone and everything. That was really...
she was quite conniving. So she figured out that he only lived 10 minutes away from her because she checked on her phone. And then she'd gone into his calendar to make sure that he was free. So she was quite conniving. And if I was, I would run. Run for the hills, never look back.
Definitely. So girls, if you do want to make your ex jealous, I thought it's not even worth it. So just move on with your life, right? Because you can't, if he's an ex or if she's an ex and you guys have decided to break up, even if one's pushing for the other to get back, you need to stand your ground and stop trying to make each other jealous. Because it just game play and it just gets messy. And the thing is, if you're with someone else now, that person's at risk of getting hurt. And this has happened a lot with people, hasn't it? So you kind of like, in like pursuit of your own sort of agenda, you end up hurting a lot of other people, and you don't know what they've been through in the past with relationships. So it's kind of like a cycle that continues and just gets worse and worse, isn't it?
He was the rebound.
Yeah, definitely. Now you didn't stay playing games, did you, Lucy?
No.
Well, how do you feel about relationships today, and what's your take on it? Do you still think the same way as you did before?
No.
Like, let's play games, let's use men?
No, I think everyone should be honest, to be honest. Like, all games are fun, but people get hurt. I got hurt, the guy got hurt. So, yeah, I've learnt from it a lot. So now I want to get married. I want to be straightforward and be honest with a guy, yeah.
So do you think a serious relationship can come about after actually playing games, though, with someone?
Yeah.
Do you think so, Chelsea?
No. I think at the beginning of any dating experience, we all play games to protect ourselves because we are all vulnerable. So, for example, guys may wait 3 days to call you, even if they're really eager. They're not going to call you for 3. That's a game, So they're sort of playing that, that game. However, there comes a point where you have to be, you have to move into relationship mode, and then you have to stop the games. You have to be completely honest. So whilst you're dating, games can be kind of cute, can be kind of fun, but when you're in a relationship, or it's not going to work.
Let's talk about flirting, because this is something else that just came to my mind now, and also it's actually something that that this guy wrote about. Now he says one of the games guys do a lot is flirt with other people. And it's saying that by flirting with other girls, the guy's intention could be to send her the message that his interest lies somewhere else and not entirely on her. So that's one point. And he could be flirting to get your interest in him. He could be flirting for fun now, just to let you know just to see what your reaction will be like should one day he does actually flirt for real and see how much he's going to get away with. So that's quite an interesting one. So manipulative.
It's a blatant disrespect though, isn't it?
Oh, I think it's horrible.
It's just rude. So it shouldn't be accepted. And if he's flirting to show you that he's not interested in you, again, he should just say, listen, I don't want the same thing that you do, and walk away, rather than hurting your feelings in public. Doesn't make sense.
Now, there is a game that I do play with my husband now, and he's aware of it now, so it kind of doesn't work anymore. But I'm going to tell you about that after this break, because we've got a few more points to talk about. And maybe you're going to disagree with what I do, but I do have a reason for it. So join us after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. I'm a giggle during the break. Okay, so what's the game that I play? Now, I believe, like husband and wife, or if you're in a relationship that's stable and I think a couple should look after one another. So one thing that I like to do with my husband is to make sure that he's looking after me, and he kind of does it to me as well. So there are times when I'll say something that I know is not good, to see what he's going to say. So maybe, for example, I'll make a negative comment about someone. Now, if he doesn't just to test him to see if he's actually listening, if he's kind of taking care of me as a person, so there's times I'll say something maybe negative, maybe not necessarily about a person, maybe about a situation. Oh, I'm going to give up on this. I don't think. And then I see what's he going to say back to me. I do this from time to time, and if he's sort of quite on the ball, he say, look, why are you talking like that? It's not a nice thing to say, or don't talk like that. It's not good. You need to kind of, just to see if he's still kind of, and then he does the same to me sometimes. But the thing is, now we kind of know when we're doing it, so it doesn't really work anymore. But I think it's just a kind of, I would call it a positive game, in the sense that I just like to kind of we like to keep the relationship on its toes, make sure we're looking after one another, because a lot of times when people see things wrong in you, they don't tend to say, or even some friends, they're kind of scared to tell you about things that you need to improve on. But I think when it's a couple, I think things like this, we need to look out for one another. If someone's getting negative, if someone's feeling sort of despondent about something, I think it's important to kind of lift that person up as well. I don't know what you think, Chelsea.
Again, you both know the rules of the game, and it's not hurtful to anybody. So you're testing him, and if he was to fail the test, you say, oi.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do. Someone said to me, didn't you just hear what I said? Yes, Chris. Well, how come you didn't say anything to me? Why didn't you tell me off?
Exactly. So it's not harmful in any way. It's actually quite cheeky and fun, and like you say, it keeps the relationship fresh. So
it does.
I approve.
Thank you. All right, so let's go through. We've got a few more minutes left, so let's go through a few other things that men generally do. Now, this one I think is a bit. I don't really like this one. It's talking about becoming inexplicably aggressive. Now, I'm not talking about violence or anything, obviously, but I do think it's a bit cruel. So all of a sudden, out of the blue, he'll start shouting at you and being really sort of disrespectful. And then obviously, if that happens, you feel quite shocked. You feel and at that point, I think some women will either stand up for themselves and say, hang on a minute, who do you think you're talking to like that? Why are you talking to me like this? There's other women that will just be so shocked, and maybe because of maybe something that they've been through in their past, they're kind of going to retreat and go into their shell and get all sad and maybe bring things up from the past, everything. So what he's saying that men are actually doing when they do this is that they're trying to see what kind of person you really are. And if you're going to be a pushover, if you're going to stand up for yourself, because according to him, he's saying that it makes... if he sees strength in you, that's something attractive. If he feels that you're going to sort of just go into your shell and not say anything back, and not maybe kind of pull him up on not being good, and kind of similar to what I was saying, but to the extreme, then it's not a good sign. What do you think about that, Lucy?
I think it's games. I think it kind of it's a good game because it shows who somebody really is. Because when you start a relationship, no. It's obviously it's extreme, but when you're in a relationship, you don't know how somebody really is. Because some people go on like they're pretty and nice and calm, and there's hidden things. So yeah.
And Chelsea, what do you think?
No, I think it's it's controlling, and it's signs of a nature that I wouldn't approve of in a partner. So someone being disrespectful or aggressive, any woman really should exit that situation.
Do you think some men think it just spices up the relationship?
Again,
a bit twisted, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a little twisted. Yeah. And again, like we said, you and your husband, you both understand the rules of the game. Mm-hmm. These women who he's testing, they don't understand the rules. So all they're seeing is someone who's being aggressive or disrespectful.
I think it could be quite traumatic as well.
Exactly.
If you're getting on with someone and like you're on a date and like things are going so, and you've told all your friends, oh, this guy's lovely, he treats me so nice, and all of a sudden he's just shouting at you. I mean, it's horrible. I think it's quite scary as well, isn't it?
But all of his rules about testing women to see their real nature kind of put him in a bad light or a poor light as a guy, because, you know, a real guy shouldn't have to test women. They should just, you know, speak to them, ask them questions and find out who they really are.
That's true. Let's see another one here. So this one, he refuses to give her the usual expected compliments. So imagine now, Lucy, you're with this guy and he's always showering you with compliments. Oh, you're so beautiful. I love your eyes. You've got lovely skin and all this, like he's just showering you with compliments. And then all of a sudden he just stops. What would you think?
He's not interested, or he might be seeing somebody else. Mm-hmm. That's what I would think.
Would you think you'd say anything to him like, oh, how come? Maybe if you were sort of maybe in a relationship with him for a while, would you kind of maybe say, how come I'm not getting the same?
No, not really. I think I would ignore it because it's like we've moved on in a relationship. I wouldn't be like, oh, you have to be like the beginning. But then I would.
What if it was at the beginning though of the relationship?
I'd be very watchful.
Yeah.
Of how he is in other areas, because if he stopped, maybe he could be seeing somebody else, or maybe he's just comfortable now. Mm-hmm. He knows that you like him, so he doesn't need to keep begging.
Yeah, it could be that, because there are times, for example, when you are sort of first dating, when you're first going out with someone, you do want to show the best to them and like say all the right things and everything. And then I suppose as time goes, you kind of forget to make those same compliments that you used to. So it does happen. Has that ever happened to you? Like a guy that you've been with and then he just stops giving you compliments?
No.
No? So confident. She's so cool and everything. No, whatever.
But I think the need for compliments says more about the woman than it does about the guy. And I think a lot of women would just say, oh, don't you think this dress is nice? You know, they would almost persuade him somehow to give the compliment. Mm-hmm. So, but if she needs it, if she kind of thrives on that, then it says something more about her insecurities. Yeah. And so that's what he's testing for, isn't it? To see how insecure and how needy she is. Mm-hmm. I think that's what his agenda
Exactly.
is.
He's saying this is to see how confident you are about yourself. So if all of a sudden you turn around and start saying, oh, don't you like me anymore? Don't you think I look nice in this dress anymore? And like all those kind of things, that's obviously going to show an insecurity. And men do like confident women. They do like that kind of woman that can sort of stand up for herself. You can just see a confident person, and that's attractive to men. So maybe he doesn't want that kind of vulnerable, needy kind of person all the time.
But the danger with all these tests and games is that there's a power dynamic can quickly emerge in the relationship, and it sounds like with these tests that the guy is trying to sort of gain the upper hand over the woman. So I understand exactly who you are and how you operate, and therefore I can manipulate or control. And that's the danger with games, is that they can be quite hurtful.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, like for example, when it comes to my husband, it is important to me what he thinks about, for example, if we go out, what he thinks about what I'm wearing. So if we're about to go out and then he looks at me in a sort of like, I just know the look, and I'll say to him, what? And he goes, oh, I don't know about that on you. And I will normally go and change, because I'm going out with him and I want to look nice for him. I want to impress him. We've been married almost 15 years, but I still want to make sure that I look nice when we go out. So I would change my clothes. But obviously if I'm going to go out with some girlfriends or something, to me it doesn't matter if they like what I'm wearing or not. I will go out the way I like to be dressed. So in that respect, I don't think it's a bad thing. There's some women that will say, look, I don't care what you think, I'm going to wear this anyway. But for me, it's just something that's important to me, that I want to still impress him even after 15 years, because I still want to look nice for him.
Would he change if you said, no, not that shirt?
He does actually.
Exactly. So it's part of your relationship.
Yeah, it's a bit harder actually, because then I'll be like, oh, I don't know. And he goes, well, what's wrong with it? But I like it. And then after a while, he will
go
most of
again.
the times, there's a few times he hasn't, but he does most of the times.
That makes sense.
Or sometimes he shows me like, what do you think? Which one do you like? It's quite sweet, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have that kind of thing. So I think it's something nice. But then if it's sort of to the extreme, then I think that's where it's a problem as well.
I had someone who asked me to change once when I was very young, and I did. I changed clothes, and he said, "Oh, what you're wearing is just too short and too." So I changed, and I got to the venue, and everybody was wearing what I had been wearing before.
Yeah.
And after that, I thought, no, I'll never change again, because I was comfortable, so that should have been
Although
enough.
you stood out then because you wore something different.
No, but not nice. It was very sort of drab. So now I know, sort of go with your instinct, as long as you're comfortable. And I think his reasons for getting me to change weren't good reasons. So it wasn't because he thought I didn't look particularly nice. It was more that he was worried that other men would talk to me, and so he was about his insecurity. So yeah, I learned from that.
Okay. So overall then, ladies, what do you think about games? Like, sum up.
I think games are good for dating.
Yeah.
But not for relationships. And games are fine as long as both of you know what the games are, know what the rules are, and have agreed to play the games.
How about you, Lucy?
I think games are fun, but obviously there's a limit. And as you said, for dating only, when you get into a relationship, it's about honesty, and it should be cut off.
And I think it's quite dangerous actually to do it too much even in dating, because if you end up with the person and suddenly you're completely different, well, now I'm going to remove this mask, take off this mask, and this is who I really am, and all this time I've been playing games with you, because I think that could also be quite dangerous. It's like, hang on, I don't know this person anymore, let me just move on. So we've got the kind of that kind of danger as well. But just to go through, like, also we've got some reasons why men play games. So we know their reasoning behind it in the sense of what they're trying to achieve. But this is some men as well. They feel emotionally insecure, which is something you mentioned, Chelsea. Yeah. Perhaps he's not sure how he really feels, and hence feels that it's better that he plays games rather than expose his emotional insecurity to the woman he's with. All right. How long have I got, Israel? 2 minutes. Okay, I'll quickly run through them. Right. They are not ready to show their vulnerable side yet. So men keep this kind of tough exterior, and they're really into the person, but they don't want to kind of show how much they like the person because they don't want to get hurt. They're trying to build intrigue, which I think backfires a long time you're long. Yeah, you can see it coming a mile off. And it says it obviously helps to build interest, and they just like to tease their woman, which I think is a bit evil, right? And obviously they want to project a macho impression, and they just want to see how far he can take the games. So some men, this applies to women anyway as well, maybe their games will be slightly different, but they do these things as well. Some men or women play mind games just for the fun of it. They like to see the woman's reaction and see how far they can get away with playing these games. These men generally are quite childish and do it all for a laugh. Although, okay, I like, jokes are nice in a relationship, but not when it hurts the other person. No. But we have reached the end of the show, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me, and thanks for all your opinions and everything, and for all the advice as well, Chelsea. So that's it for today's Chrissy B show. But as we said, if you are sort of serious about someone, like we've heard from our guests as well, and that's my opinion as well, be honest about your feelings. Ladies, don't be too needy on first dates and like when you're getting to know the person. Dating, period is to get to know whether this person is right for you. So don't be too pushy. The other way around as well. Just talk, get to know each other. Don't rush things. And then you're more likely to have a good relationship at the end of it. And then if it's not for you, fine, just break off, and don't let that put you down and make you think that, oh, you know what, I'm not a relationship material or anything. It's dating time is to get to know one another, but just keep it free from games as much as you can. So if you do want more information about the show or the guests tonight, you can visit the website chrissybshow.tv. Bye-bye for now.